Hey everyone, 32 Tales here, and this is going to be the start of my new series titled Beginning to End, How to Run Your Own Minecraft Server. So, what this series is going to cover is literally from the very beginning, meaning you have absolutely nothing and no idea how to run a server, to the very end where we're actually like playing on it and getting people and making friends and having fun. Right. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is get a server. I would recommend going with a host, unless you plan to host it in your house. You would need a pretty good computer for that, but I just have my laptop, so we're going to go with a host. And the host that I use is Goliath Hosting. I have a couple servers with them right now. But, okay, so on the Goliath Hosting page, right, you see we have standard and premium. I've found that the difference is not really enough to pay $4.50 more, so I'm just going to go with the standard. Alright, and here you can choose how much RAM you're going to want for your server. To start, before you get a lot of players, you're probably going to want to just go with a gigabyte. If you have the basic rule for how much RAM to get is 1 gigabyte can normally hold between, I believe it's 12 and 16 players, depending on how many plugins you have. 2 gigabytes, it just kind of goes up by 16, everything after that. And anything more than 3 is probably enough to support anything you want to put on there. For if you're having a single server. I'm not talking about like a hub or something, but for a single server, anything more than 3 is probably fine. But for me, I'm just going to go with... Sorry, that was my speaker over there. Alright, for me, I'm just going to go with the 1 gigabyte. So, let's order this. 350. I don't need dedicated IP. Dedicated IP means that you would be able to set your own name for your server. So if you didn't want like numbers, and you would actually want like tailsmc.com or something, although .com would be pretty expensive. But where did you hear about us? From myself. All right, let's check out here. We've got our server all queued up. And if you have any promo codes, you can put them in down here. I don't have any, but if you happen to find some online before they expire, then feel free to pop them in there and you'll get some nice discounts. Alright, okay, let's complete the order here. And all of this should be pretty immediate. The most I've ever seen on one is about like 2 minutes though, so. Alright, my phone's telling me I've got order confirmation from Goliath. Alright, okay, so an invoice. Now, the thing you're going to want to do here is you're going to need PayPal. So for me, I'm going to enter my PayPal information. Yes, this is a private computer. Log in. If you don't have PayPal, you can just use a normal credit or debit card as well. That all works fine. And pay now. Alright, there you go. We've just completed our payment. If we go back to, there we go, return to Goliath Hosting. If you go over to, hold on a minute. There we go. Okay. I need to turn my phone off. Alright, so we're in our client area. The way that you can get to this, this should be on, this is just general kind of for most hosting sites, is that there'll be a client area which will bring you to where you can see the number of your products that you have with them. For me, I have 3 because I have 3 servers running right now. They're all a gigabyte. But the one that we just got is this one here. And then that leads us to our next step, which is how to get onto your multicraft control panel. I would highly recommend multicraft. It's just what I've always used and it works great. But if your hosting company has their own control panel, that's probably fine too, because they'll know how to use that. But I'm going to be showing you how to use multicraft. So there are 2 ways to get to your multicraft login. One is by going through the client area here and just clicking on multicraft login, which will take you over to this login page where you can log in. And one thing that you're going to have to do first is just stop the server there, just because it's probably going to start running automatically and you don't have anything on it yet, and you still have some settings you need to play around with first. So we're going to turn that off for now. You can rename it by just changing the name right there. And make sure you save your settings. Just click the button down here because they won't save automatically. So yeah. Alright, the first thing that I'm going to show you on the multicraft is how to get to your console. And that's by clicking right here. Okay, server's off right now. But if this was on, then these would continue to change whenever someone issues a command or if a plugin does something. This is your console. This is where all your information is going to come in. And anything you type into here comes out as a command for the server. So you know how like in game you would have to put the backslash and then like spawn or something if you want to go to spawn. Well, for here you would just type if you were trying to say change the weather, right? So in game, or change the time. Let's do time. Okay, so time set day, right? That's what you would do if you're in game. But here you don't put the backslash, you just do time set day. And you don't it knows that it's a command. And when you put spaces, that means you're entering into the next parameter area. Okay, so that's how you enter into the console and how you type in your commands there. Now, the last thing I'm just going to talk about for this episode before we stop is how to get and share your server with your friends. So that's going to be using this IP right here. And make sure you include the port, because without the port, the server is not going to know which one of your Minecraft servers to forward your friends to, or whoever is joining your server. So for instance, mine is going to be this 192.99.39.200.30011. And that's going to be the number that I'll give out to people. So if I was going to send them this, though, I wouldn't just give them that number. I'd do 192.99. That's a 3, sorry, 0.39.200, and then make sure you do colon, and then I'm running out of space here. Hold on, 30011. So it kind of looked like that. Okay, that's ugly. Anyways, you get the idea. So that's how you're able to. Again, let's just review. So we've bought our server on the Goliath hosting. We've entered into the client area. We've logged into multicraft by clicking the button here, which takes us to this page. Then you would either log in if you're not already logged in, and you want to stop the server. This is how you get to your console. And this is how you share the server with your friends. Alright, and the last thing I just wanted to mention real quick is that there's also this chat panel here. If people are typing into the server, their chat will pop up here, and you can also chat back to them. But be aware that when you chat back, it does use your email as the name that's typing. So if you don't want to share your email, don't use this chat, but you can use this to moderate your server and see what players are talking about. Alright guys, thanks for tuning into this first episode. I'll be sure to click on whenever the next episode comes out. If you're in the future, then I guess it's probably already out. So head on over to episode 2, which will talk about how to get your server going and get some plugins.